Who was Awolowo in Yoruba's history? Chief Obafemi Jeremiah Oyeniyi Awolowo, or simply put Awo, as he was fondly called, was born on the 6th of March 1909. A man of vision, courage, a foremost federalist in path to Nigeria's freedom, and to crown it all, a heroic figure in the minds of the Yoruba people in the past, present and apparently, years to come. Most African elite of the early 20th century as sent their children abroad to ensure they benefited from Western education. These Africans in diaspora faced up with racism and oppression began to meet in solidarity. They meet up frequently and organize Pan-African meetings. The Fifth Pan-African Congress held in Manchester gave rise to most of the names we'll all know today as heroes across Africa. Names such as Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Hastings Bada, to mention but a few, but not leaving out our very own Obafemi Awolowo. Awo's fighting spirit for the liberation and blissful coexistence of his people never reduced. He was part of the forerunners demanding for the independence of Nigeria from the British. As head of the Action Group, Awo led demand for a federal constitution, which was introduced in 1954 Littleton Constitution. As a premier of the Western region between 1952 to 1959, he was viewed as a man of vision and a dynamic administrator. He believed so well in education, leading to the introduction of free primary education for all during his tenure. Free health care for children was not left out. Awo was a lover of infrastructural development. One of such is still the Cocoa House in Ibadan, a landmark and a historic building in West Africa. Did I mention Awo established the first television service in Africa in 1959? You can't but love this man, a man of the people, loved by all. The true dividend of government were felt during his tenure. In my opinion, Awo was a man of grace, name engraved into the sand of time. But in all sincerity, how did a man of such high repute ended up being a villain? The numerous issues ravaging the Nigerian political atmosphere today did not start in our days. Issues such as godfatherism, excessive power-driven leaders, corruption, harboring political thuggery, and so on. Looking at the roles of Awolowo, while he was the Premier of Western Region for seven years, coupled with his popularity and his hold on the Action Group, it won't be out of place to know that the coming into power of Samuel Ladoke Akintola as the next Premier after him surely has a big influence from Awo, not leaving the fact that Awo was the major financier of the party. Considering Awo's influence, the crisis that ensued in 1962 splitting the leadership of the Action Group into two because of the rift between Awolowo and Akintola cannot be short of mere godfatherism. Disagreement between the two on how to run the Western region led Samuel Ladoke Akintola to form alliance with Tafawa Balewa-led NPC federal government. A constitutional crisis in the region led to a widespread breakdown of law and order which resulted in the declaration of state of emergency in the region. Due to the riot that ensued because of the rift between Awolowo and Akintola, a state of emergency was declared in the region. Dr. M.A. Majikodunmi was appointed temporary administrator of the Western region. The first thing done by the Majikodunmi-led administration was to place Awolowo and other prominent members of the Action Group under house arrest. An investigation was launched into Awo. It was discovered that Awolowo has been using public funds to finance the party. Not only that, evidences were uncovered linking Awo to a potential coup. So how did a man so loving and gracious outwardly tends to have such a dark side? Corruption in hand and also the drive to remain relevant politically, hence, power must be acquired at all cost. Before you crucify me, because I'm sure some people will say all allegations levied against him and his accomplices are all politically motivated in order to silence his presence within the Western region. That can be true, but I also know that there is no smoke without fire. Besides, most of them were found guilty and were charged with treason, earning them 10 years behind bars. In 1966, Awolowo was released from prison during the early period of Gowon's administration. On his release, Awo said, and I quote, "Forget the past." Daily Times, August 4, 1966. Awolowo, after his release, accepted a position in Gowon's government as the highest-ranking civilian in the military government of the time. This was what broke the camel's back for me. It is ironic that a man of Awo's caliber, one of many who fought vehemently for democracy, will think, let alone accept a position and support an undemocratic form of government. This shows how badly Awolowo wanted to remain in power and stay relevant. He went ahead becoming the finance minister under the Gowon's administration. Another form of corruption swept under the carpet during Awo's tenure as the finance minister was his role in returning to the Igbos what was owned by them monetarily before the Civil War. The Biafran money became useless after the Civil War ended, though most of the Igbo elite still has money in the Nigerian bank. Awolowo was charged by the Gowon's administration to return to the Igbos what they previously owned. Awolowo in turn gave all Igbos 20 pounds pending when investigation will be carried out into how much they actually have prior to the war. That investigation never took place and all those money went into the wind. Now, with all these analyses of Chief Obafemi Awolowo's good deeds and otherwise, I see no difference between him and our present-day politicians. It's simple: do good in the eyes of the people, so that when your dark side eventually pops up, even if you lose in a court of law, you remain a victor in the court of public opinion. Either we like it or not, some of these acts are what forms the characteristics of the present-day Nigerian politics. So I put it to you, Awolowo, a hero or a villain? Thanks for watching. Please share, like and subscribe. Thanks.